We started recording. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Keys to the Jet. I'm Red, and I'm here to bring you a little bit of aviation history. What else do we have for you? This day in aviation Air Force time, we're going to go into aviation news. We're also going to get into... We're also going to get into a cool thing about a little bit of history for you guys. It's Kingman Field, which you probably didn't know about. Little desert field out near where I grew up a little bit. I want to take you through the history of that and tell you what it did in World War II and beyond, and just give you a little bit more, just give you some more content for the week. Been a little busy hanging out with my minion this week. We just came back from the pool. We got a little bit of water in my ear. It's like can't hear. So if you hear me yelling, that's why. All right, well, you know what, usually we go this day in aviation news. I rant about some shit, and then I go into the main topic of the thing. But today I'm going to do it a little backwards. Today I'm going to take you straight into the history that I was going to talk about, the i.e. Kingman Field. And then we're going to go news, this day in aviation, out. Cool. That's what we're going to do. And first off, I'd like to thank everybody who has been here before or is brand new to the channel. Thank you for listening, and thank you for following and liking, subscribing, whatever you've done. Even if it's one episode, even if it's, I haven't seen any shitty comments yet, but even if you leave a shitty comment, you talk shit, whatever, man, it's cool. All news is good news. You know what I mean? So I'd like to thank our patrons as well. Thank you very much. If it wasn't for you, we couldn't be doing what we're doing. And if you like to donate to the channel, you can go to patreon.com/Keys to the Jet podcast. $5 a month. And I've actually got some merch designs, some t-shirt designs I'm going to put up and see what you guys think about. Have my patrons vote. If you want to be a patron, you want to vote on what t-shirt goes out to you guys, because I have made a design. Actually, I had ChatGPT help me make a design, and it's going to go out to you guys. So, like I said, if you want to donate, you can go to patreon.com/Keys to the Jet podcast. $5 a month. It gets you a shirt. It gets you the 3D printed stuff, and it gets you like early access and or discounts on any other merch coming out. Thinking about putting out underwear. You want some Keys to the Jet underwear? I think it'd be cool. I'll rock them. It's my podcast, so of course I'd rock them. You know what I mean? All right. Again, that's patreon.com/Keys to the Jet podcast. Right on, man. Let's get into the historical part of the. Let's get into the historical part here. Let's switch gears. All right. The title of this is called Kingman Field, from World War II to the Jet Age and beyond. Welcome to another episode of Keys to the Jet podcast, the show where we take military aviation history and make it as fun as a fighter jet doing a belly flop. You know what? I'm trying to read something that I wrote, and we'll just do what we can here, okay? Let's see. And we're talking about a little known but incredibly important place, Kingman Field, and its role in World War II and beyond. Buckle up. We're about to take you on a flight that stretches from World War II into the jet age and all the way to its modern day status. And spoiler alert, It's now a giant desert parking lot. But the story is way more interesting than a bunch of dusty old planes. I mean, but dusty old planes are kind of cool. I like them. So let's start with the basics. When and where did Kingman Field come into play? Picture this. The year is 1942. The world is at war, and the U.S. is getting ready to send their boys and girls off to fight for freedom. And also, because we're all about efficiency, we needed a place to store planes, and a lot of them. And I mean, a shit ton of them. So the Army Air Corps was like, hey, man, we need a place to stash all these aircraft somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Enter Kingman Field, located in Kingman, Arizona, which, if you've never been there, is a place where tumbleweeds and older people go to retire. Mostly tumbleweeds. But seriously, Kingman is more desert than most deserts, and it just happens to be the perfect spot for this massive aircraft storage and Boneyard facility. Kingman Field officially opened in 1942, and it quickly became one of the busiest places in the U.S. Army Air Corps during World War II. We're talking about a facility that could house over 4,000 aircraft. Yes, 4,000. That's crazy. In the middle of nowhere, they set up one of the largest military airfields in the country. And again, if you've never been out to Kingman, you've probably passed through there on the I-40. But if you've never been out to Kingman, the now airport, which used to be Army Airfield, is out in the middle of the desert next to, it runs right, or Route 66 runs right next to it. It's got all this stuff out there now. The planes and airmen that made it famous. Now let's talk about the planes and airmen that made Kingman Field famous. You got to know this place was like the Costco of military aircraft back in the day. Everything from B-17 Flying Fortress bombers to P-40 Warhawks came through here. Seriously, the amount of aircraft that passed through this place is insane. It was a supply hub, a repair depot, a modification facility, and let's be honest here, it was also kind of like the first Uber for military planes. Planes would land, get worked on, and then boom, off to the fight. Some of the famous aircraft that were stationed at Kingman included the B-17 Flying Fortress. Talk about a crowd favorite. This was one of the most iconic bombers of World War II. You know, the kind of plane that looked like it could fly into a hurricane and come out with the world's best bomber mug. Excuse me. P-40 Warhawk. I mean, this was a plane that made the Flying Tigers famous. And if you've seen a World War II movie, this is one with cool shark mouth painted on the nose. And who doesn't love a plane that looks like it's going to bite the shit out of you every time it flies by? I mean, I do. It's kind of cool. And lastly, the C-47 Skytrain. We did a video on this one. This is a workhorse of World War II. And if you're in a transport plane during World War II, you're probably flying in a C-47 Skytrain. This baby carried troops, cargo, and even dropped paratroopers during the invasion of Normandy. Basically, the UPS of wartime airlift, except with a lot more bombs. And don't forget the airmen. The soldiers stationed here were tasked with maintaining and modifying all these aircraft before they were shipped out to fight in the Pacific, Europe, or wherever else this action was. These were the folks keeping the planes in top shape. No small task, let me tell you. And knowing from experience as being an aircraft mechanic, I feel you, and especially working in the desert. Jeez. On those big-ass bombers, trash haulers, man, I feel for you. I mean, imagine working on a B-17, which is basically the size of a small building, and then having to deal with the engine that's louder than your grandpa's old tractor. If there's one thing we learned, it's that military airmen are tough. Yes, we are. They didn't care if it was actually, those guys back then were way tougher than we are now. Wait, I mean, shit. We have like protocols and different fucking standard operating procedures, standard operating instructions, and everything like that. PPE and hearing protection and all this other crap that we have to wear now. Those cats back then were like, well, whatever, man. Let's just get the job done. Drinking black coffee and just fucking rolling, you know? They didn't care if it was 120 degrees in the desert. They were like, fix it or flying this thing out of here and you're walking home. Damn. Kingman Field during World War II, the endless cycle of aircraft. It would be cool to, like, well, you know, be alive and see that many aircraft coming in and out of the area. Now, World War II wasn't just about fighting. It was also about aircraft recycling. And when I say recycling, I mean thousands of planes being decommissioned, chopped up, and sold for scrap. After a mission or after being retired, planes would make their way to Kingman Field to be mothballed or torn down. In fact, it's at its peak, Kingman Field was handling over 1,000 planes a month that were either being scrapped or sent off to be repaired and sent back into battle. Imagine a plane graveyard the size of a small city. It was like The Walking Dead, but for aircraft. Yeah, and that's crazy. And the worst part, some of these aircraft didn't even make it to the fight. They arrived, got parked in the middle of the desert, and never flew again. But hey, they did their part, right? They made sure the guys on the front lines had the planes they needed when it counted. So fast forward to 1945. The war ends, and Kingman Field gets a bit of a break, but it doesn't just disappear into history like a lot of other Army airfields did. The base kept doing some work for a while, especially in the years leading up to the Cold War, but as years went on, the need for Kingman Field started to dwindle, and in 1949, it was officially deactivated. Now you might think, hey, we're done here, right? Well, no. Kingman Field didn't exactly just roll up the runway and call it a day. In fact, it was used for aircraft storage for decades after it closed. It became a resting place for planes like the B-29 and even some B-52 Stratofortresses. You could say Kingman Field became the place where old planes go retire, and for a while, they all just sat there waiting for their second chance at life. Or until they were auctioned off to some weird collector. So, yeah, no one really told Kingman Field it was done. So, Kingman Field today, the Boneyard lives on. Now, let's talk about Kingman Field today. If you were to visit it now, you'd find an empty airfield, a couple of hangars, and a lot of desert. It's kind of sad, right? But don't be fooled, it still holds a place in history. While many of the planes were scrapped or sold off over time, the field remains an important symbol of military aviation history. I like to think of Kingman Field as a giant parking lot for the planes. You know, where you can get a great deal on a used B-17. I mean, seriously, if you ever wanted to own a piece of history, maybe it's time to make your way to the desert and see if you can haggle. No. I mean, shit, back then you could probably buy it for pennies on the dollar back then, but they'd be fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars now. Plus, there's nothing out there anymore. All that's really left out there in Kingman is I think some old like FedEx airplanes and some old like DL, what's up, fucking shipping place or whatever, DL, whatever, DSL, I forget. But yeah, I mean, Honeywell's out there. They work on brakes, tires, wheels. I worked out there for a second. There's some other stuff. There's some smaller outfits out there, and maybe some like factories of type shit, but no real big aviation scene or even military aviation scene anymore. What would be cool is I'd like to go out there where they parked all the crap, where they parked all the airplanes, and you go out there with a metal detector. You could probably find a lot of stuff, especially like, you know, with the amount of years and the dirt and the wind that's covered everything up. I mean, it's an empty piece of freaking desert, dude. If you've ever been out there, really the only things that, I mean, there's a lot of people in the area in Kingman that work out there, right? It's still like a busy area for people who are driving on Route 66. They drive right past it. And the railroad, the railroad goes through there a lot. And I think that also, civilian aviation, they fly in and out of there with their aeroplanes and stuff like that. But yeah, that was Kingman Field. I mean, you should check it out. That was just a short synopsis on it or whatever. I mean, I could do a video, but I just want to give you, bring you something historical today. Since last episode, we talked about the Fighting Furies, which was the first AMU or first fighter squadron, which I worked in. And then before that, we talked about was it Chuck Yeager, or we talked about Edwards Air Force Base? That's right. Talked about Edwards Air Force Base. That's pretty good. I'm glad we did that stuff. Cool. All right. Well, like I said, that was Kingman Field. Go drive by it. Go check it out. It's just a lonesome piece of desert, but you're going to be like, I wonder what it looked like. Go look at pictures of all the bombers stacked up after World War II. It's crazy. You'd be like, wow, that's a whole shit ton of airplanes. It looked even bigger, I think, just from the pictures, but it looked like they had more airplanes than the Boneyard down in Tucson. But yeah, go check it out. All right, let's get on to the news. Let's get on to some aviation news. Let's start backwards. Let's go backwards instead of forwards. This is from the War Zone. Let's see. Russian strategic bombers destroyed in unprecedented wide-scale drone attack. Dang, man. We got a lot of stuff going on here. Wow. I'm going to talk just like a news. Really? Ready? Ukraine carried out a massive drone strike at air bases across Russia on Sunday, claiming to have destroyed dozens of aircraft. There are also indications that Russia's Northern Fleet headquarters, home of Russian nuclear submarines, was attacked as well. Overall, the attack was very clearly aimed at Russia's most prized strategic aerial assets, which cannot be replaced quickly in any manner, and doing so oh boy, sorry about that. Got a call there. I had to go back. Anyways, let's start again. Let's go back to it. Yeah, okay. Let's see. The security service of Ukraine has conducted a large-scale special operation to destroy bomber aircraft in the rear of Russian Federation. The Ukrainian Armed Forces General Staff stated SBU drones have hit more than 40 aircraft, including A-50, Tu-95, and Tu-22 M3, causing damage over $2 billion. The operation, codenamed Web, targeted 4 key Russian air bases: Belaya, Digalevoyo, Eleoneya, and Ivanova. The Kiev Post reported there was no immediate responses for Russian officials. Yeah, great. The war rages on. Let's see. China's J-36 very heavy stealth tactical jet photographed head on for the first time. It looks like a fish. New imagery of China's J-36 very heavy tactical 6th generation fighter has just emerged out of China. Photo shows a long-awaited perspective of the aircraft taken from the front that confirms our analysis that the aircraft features a very large and broad bubble canopy to go atop its equally broad nose section. Brian looks like a catfish under the canopy. would be 2 crews sitting side by side, similar to the F-111 Su-34's arrangement, among others. The image also offers a view of the dorsal inlet on 3-engine aircraft, along with a divertless supersonic inlet hump, which appears very large here. Cool. J-36. Yep. Looks like an airplane. Oh, there's a video. Oh, wow. Look at that video. Cool, way cool. Good for you, China. Interesting. The imagery also comes days after. Sorry, dead air there for a second. Days after we got the clearest look at Shenyang's smaller but still heavyweight 6th generation fighter aircraft, referred to unofficially by a number of designations, including the JXDS and J50. The bottom view gives us a better look at the weapons bay arrangement as well as F-22 like nozzle configuration. Weird. Freaking weird. Been stealing our fucking tech, man. Fucking Chinese bastards. They can't make anything up on their own, so they have to fucking steal shit. Fucking pussies. Let's see. Weaponized Russian jet power target drone shot down over Black Sea. Blah, blah, blah. Ooh, here's a good one. 15E armed with drone killing laser guided rockets appears in Middle East. We now have a picture showing U.S. Air Force F-15 Strike Eagle down range in the Middle East with an air-to-air loadout that includes 6 7-shot 70mm rocket pods, as well as 4 AIM-9Xs, 4 AIM-120 missiles. This comes a week after TWZ was the first to report on testing of the laser-guided 70mm advanced precision kill weapon system as a new armament option for the F-15E. As we noted at the time, the exact loadout we're now seeing on deployed Strike Eagle turns the jet into a counter drone and cruise missile weapons truck with a whopping 50 engagement opportunities, not counting the internal gun. Damn, boy. That boy thick, boy. Holy shit, look at all those rockets. Fuck, dude. Whoa. You got... How many 120s are there, dude? Looks like you got 1, 2, 3, 4 120s. 1, 2, 3, 4 AIM-9s, and then 6 rocket pods. Holy shit. Ooh. No wonder they call it a fucking weapons truck, dude. Whoa. Trump offers F-47 6th-gen fighter to Japan. That's crazy. It's going to be the greatest fighter ever. It's the greatest. Boeing's F-47 6th-gen stealth fighter has been pitched to Japan by U.S. Donald Trump. According to reports, the idea of an export-configured F-47 was brought up by Trump. Manned combat jet was brought up by Trump when he announced Boeing's win in the U.S. Air Force's next-generation dominance. Fuck you, Boeing. Japan is reportedly also... I'm just kidding. Boeing is a great company. They're just not going to deliver aircraft or safe aircraft on time. Meanwhile, Japan is reportedly also considering its increase of purchase of F-35 and generation stealth fighters, prompted by concerns over the timeline for the C-cap, G-cap, the 6th generation combat jet being pursued jointly by Italy, Japan, and the United Kingdom. A possible sale of the F-47 in Tokyo was raised during a phone call between Trump and the Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba. I think that's how I said his name. I probably butchered his freaking name. Cool, man. Cool. They're going to have that thing too eventually when Boeing delivers it, you know. We just learned a more advanced Ferrari F-35 could include pilot optional F-35 Joint Strike Fighters could be coming in the future as Lockheed Martin looks for ways to ensure the jets remain relevant for decades to come. Technology from the company's unsuccessful bid for the U.S. Air Force's NGAD 6th generation fighter competition, along with new coatings and other mods, could also go into what has previously called a Ferrari or NASCAR upgrade to the F-35's core chassis. The feasibility of this proposal, as well as this huge claim that it could produce a jet with 80% of the capability of 6th generation design and 50% of the cost, remains very much in question. In the meantime, Lockheed Martin says overall demand for the F-35 remains strong. The new customers, potentially including Saudi Arabia and India, could be on the horizon. Yes. Speaking of Bernstein's strategic decision conference yesterday, Lockheed Martin CEO Jim said he thinks that in the space of 2 to 3 years, we could have a meaningful increase in capability for the F-35 by porting some of the NGAD technologies over. In March, the Air Force announced that Boeing had won the NGAD combat jet competition with a design now designated the F-47. That'd be cool. Let's see what it could do. Let's see what it could do. What else? We're still talking about the news here. What do you want to hear about? What's your favorite airplanes? Let's see. La 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 la. Oh, here's one. Army to retire all of its turboprop surveillance planes by the end of the year. Dang, dude. That thing has so many antennas on it, dude. That is so crazy. The U.S. Army says it's on schedule to retire the last of the turboprop powered intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance aircraft by the end of this year, prior to the start of the divestments in 2022. The service has dozens of crewed turboprop ISR planes spread across units in the United States and 4 deployed overseas. There continues to be questions about forthcoming capability and capacity gaps. Business jet-based replacement aircraft still years away from entering service, and recent reports that Army could ultimately buy just 6 of them. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Woo! Yeah, let's see what else is going on here. I'm getting bored, man. Getting bored doing this. There's really nothing going on. Shoot. There's a lot of there's a lot of stuff going on, but it's kind of getting bored. Kind of getting bored talking about it, you guys. We need something fun. What do we got? What do we have? Shit. Let's go here. Huh. See if we got anything. What? Oh, sorry. Man, I'm just trying to find something fun here, dude. Something freaking funny. Here's something. I guess like a lady on 747 British Airways was like bitching about the blinds, the shitters not having any blinds. Oh man. Can you guys hear that? Wow. I don't know what that is, but it seemed kind of funny to me. Yeah, you guys. Hey, I think we're this one's running kind of dry. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm just getting I don't know what's going on here. Let's see what else. See what we got here. Maybe we can bring it up here a little bit. I got it.
Let's talk about your Cable Ace Award.
Let's talk about buttered sausage. Talk about buttered sausage, where it comes from, what it does, why is it doing what it's doing. Get it out of my face. What about buttered sausage?
That's not your jam. It's not your thing. You don't like it?
It's not my jam. I don't buy jam. I buy honey, and I kiss it on the lips.
Oh man, miss you, little Mikey. Let's Pumbaa.
A look back at Sab on the flight line, a.k.a. Pumbaa.
When I was a young warthog.
Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? They call me Mr. Pig!
Love you, Pumbaa. I mean Sab.
Woo! That's Keys to the Jet podcast. That's us. We're man, still going strong after a few years. Still going strong. Whoa, that's how you feel when Keys to the Jet comes on, dude. Oh man, this is always a good one. Right here too. Remember, you can join our Patreon for $5 at patreon.com/Keys to the Jet.
Just $5 a month could help out a third world podcast become a first world podcast. For less than a cup of Starbies, you could make a gigantimous improvement. If you want to donate, then please go to the Keys to the Jet podcast Patreon at patreon.com/Keys to the Jet podcast. That's patreon.com/Keys to the Jet podcast. Again, go to patreon.com/Keys to the Jet podcast. patreon.com/Keys to the Jet podcast.
Oh man, that's always a good one. Always a good one. Let's see.
Do I look like I know what a JPEG is? I just want a picture of a goddamn hot dog. Do I look like I know what a JPEG is? I just want.
This is falling into some bullshit here because, yeah.
I know what a JPEG is. I just want a picture of a goddamn hot dog. look like I know what
Oh, man.
Apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. The whole club was looking at her. She hit the floor, the next thing you know.
I love it.
Shawty got low,
Oh,
low,
oh,
low,
oh,
low,
oh,
low, low,
oh,
low.
I've been sucking off Rick.
oh, this is Blackbeard's song. This is his favorite song. Rhino's favorite song. Hope will be on a couple of episodes from now. We got some shit going on, which is why they're
It's a
not
damn
on.
shame what the world's gotten to.
What else?
Voice and I cannot lie. You are the brightest thing tonight. The in your face, you kiss.
All right. That was sort of a break to get me back focused. Back on what we need to get focused on here. Oh, here we go. Let me turn back on this music. Not that music, but let me turn on some music again. Take you back. Take you back to the news here. Actually, I got a special guest who wants to say something really quick.
Hello.
Who was that?
They're just gonna have to guess.
Yeah, I don't know who that was. Anyways, no, it was my minion. It's my ginger minion. Anyways, let's go to the news. Had to reset here. Pentagon targets fear moves for troops to cut PCS costs. Pentagon directed, and this is from Air Force Times. Military members should be moving less frequently for greater stability and to save taxpayers' dollars, according to defense officials who have set the process in motion for those reductions. Oh, wow. So you're going to be moving less, which means you're going to be staying in a black hole that you don't like more. Awesome. Awesome. Sit tight. Airmen hold first training sortie for new electronic attack plane. World War II bomber crash left 11 dead. 4 are finally coming home. Whoa, that's cool. As World War II bomber Heaven Can Wait was hit by the World War II bomber Heaven Can Wait was hit by enemy fire off the Pacific Island of New Guinea, March 11, 1944. The co-pilot managed a final salute to flyers in an adjacent plane before crashing into the water. All 11 men aboard were killed. Their remains deep below the vast sea were designated as non-recoverable. Yet 4 crew members' remains are being returned to their homeowners after a remarkable investigation by family members and a recovery mission involving elite Navy divers who descended 200 feet in a pressurized bell to reach the sea floor. Dude, that's freaking cool. That's pretty rad. House lawmakers to unveil draft budget for vets programs this week. Congressional appropriators will unveil their first draft of fiscal 2026 federal budget this week with a House committee markup of planned funding for the Department of Veterans Affairs and military construction projects. Yeah. A lot of stuff they're doing here. All right, you guys. Let's get into this day in aviation. Sorry, kind of worn out today, man. I haven't had an energy drink either, and it's kind of. I should have had one, you know. Let's see. Let's find a good one. Find a good one. Looking for something good. Looking for something good. 1 June 1964 at Edwards Air Force Base in the high Mojave Desert of Southern California. Jackie Cochran flew a Lockheed F-104 Starfighter over a 100-kilometer closed circuit without payload, averaging 2,097 kilometers per hour, or 1,303 miles per hour. Oh, broke the speed record. Sorry. Sorry about that. Little bit of silence there. I had to take a break for a second and check something out. Anyways, I really don't want to cut this short, but I'm kind of tired. I kind of ran out of stuff to talk about. I guess we could talk about what could we talk about? Let's see. Okay, you know what? Let's talk about an X-plane. How about that? Let's talk about an X-plane. Let's talk about the X. How about let's talk about the Bell X-1. The Bell X-1. This is from Wikipedia. This is the first X-plane, apparently. The Bell X-1 is a rocket engine-powered aircraft designated originally as the XS-1 and Joint National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, U.S. Army Air Force Supersonic Research, projected by Bell Aircraft. Conceived during 1944 and designed and built in 1945, it achieved a speed of nearly 1,000 miles per hour. In 1948, derivative of this same design, the Bell X-1A, having greater fuel capacity and hence longer rocket burning time, exceeded 1,600 miles per hour. The X-1 aircraft, nicknamed Glamorous Glennis, flown by Chuck Yeager, was the first piloted airplane to exceed the speed of sound in level flight and was the first of the X-planes, a series of American experimental rocket airplanes and non-rocket planes designed for testing new technologies. And check this out. I went to a museum the other day and I saw the X-1 hanging above me as I was walking through, and it was really fucking cool, dude. I also saw the YF-22. I saw a bunch of other shit. There's also the two-seater A-10. If you know where it's at, you know. You should go check it out. I'm an airplane nerd, and I love that stuff. I took my son. He liked it, too. His favorite thing was the YF-22. But we saw a lot of airplanes that day. Let's see. Yeah. All right, you guys. Man, I'm sorry. I'm just not in it today. I don't want to be fake. I don't want to be like, yeah, I'm totally like having a good time. I'm totally not having a good time today. I don't know what it is. Low energy, whatever, worn out, tired, whatever, fat, whatever. I don't freaking know. Yeah. But I appreciate you guys. Appreciate all of you. Every single one of you. If you've listened for a second, if you've donated to the channel, if you have done anything, subscribed on our YouTube channel. Anything. I greatly appreciate it. Let's see. Let's see. Let's do a little recap of the episode. All right, let's do a quick recap. In this episode, Keys of the Jet, we dove into the fascinating history of Kingman Field, an often overlooked but critical part of World War II aviation, the development of military aircraft storage. From its opening in 1942 to its role in aircraft decommissioning after the war, Kingman Field became the largest aircraft boneyard in the U.S. Let's see. It was officially deactivated in 1949. It had different aircraft in it, B-17, P-40 Warhawk, and a C-47 Skytrain. Later became a boneyard for a lot of those things. Also, we did This Day in Aviation, where we talked about some stuff. We did some aviation news, where we talked about the E-model and House lawmakers and some Chinese stuff and Russian stuff, and we talked about the Bell X-1 for a second. Yeah. Again, thanks guys. I really appreciate you. I'm gonna get the frick out of here. Remember, if you'd like to support the channel, you can always go to patreon.com/Keys of the Jet podcast and donate. Let's see. Where is it? Oh yeah. You can go to patreon.com/Keys of the Jet podcast. Help us out, $5 a month. Yeah. So I'm sorry for the spaciness today. I apologize. You guys not really been a great episode. I think it was okay. Excuse me. We got through it. If we stayed until the end, you're fucking amazing.
Just $5 a month could help out a third world podcast become a first world podcast. For less than a cup of Starbies, you could make a gigantimous improvement. If you want to donate, then please go to the Keys to the Jet podcast Patreon at patreon.com/Keys to the Jet podcast. That's patreon.com/Keys to the Jet podcast. Again, go to patreon.com/Keys to the Jet podcast. patreon.com/Keys to the Jet podcast.
That's great.
Of course you're not available, because you're fucking scared, you little bitch. Like, I don't understand. Why are you the sweetest man on the planet whenever I fucking talk to you? But then on the text message, You're a fucking devil. You're a fucking terrorist. Like, it's not. It's weird, man. It's.
Oh, little Mikey, we love you. Hopefully on the next one we'll try to have everybody on, but we do need to get little Mikey back on here because we miss his ass again. Thanks, you guys. I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta go watch my son play some Fortnite and talk shit to some other kids. You know what I'm saying? All right, guys. I am leaving now. Yeah, goodbye.